Well, let's call this thing to order. Those who are not in the room, thank you all for using the right decision and and not putting yourself at risk out there. There was a heck of a crash on 25 just south of Centennial there. I had to go the back way through the neighborhood. So, but anyway, all right. So we have a quorum. All alternates can vote. Well, let's get to it. And so we call to order. We've established voting members. Do I hear a motion from someone to approve the agenda? Barb approve. There's a second.
Second, Richard Zamora.
Thank you, Richard. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, awesome. Public comment period. I would like to just mention, some of you may know, back on last week, a week before last, Manitou had the ribbon cutting on their Creek Walk Trail that we helped fund, and it was a great event. The ribbon, a real nice walkway right along the area, nice smooth paths for biking and that kind of thing. If anybody wants to go, check it out. It's a real nice trail, very well done. And the citizens that I talked to were very proud to have it done and appreciated us being there. So anyway, pass that on. Any other public comments? Not seeing or hearing any. Okay, great. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the November 5th, 2025 meeting? Somebody hit the unmute button. All right, Barb move. Second. Yes, somebody?
David Zelenak here. I'm glad to second the motion, and thank you for correcting Days Zelenak to Dave Zelenak.
There you go. All right, thank you, Dave. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, awesome. Monthly financial reports. Lisa, you on here?
Yep, I'm here. Lisa Corey, Finance Manager for the PPRTA. The sales and use tax I'm reporting is for the month of September. We came in above the monthly budget by $1,188,276, or 9.4%. September 25 revenues fell below September 24 revenue by $642,410, or 4.9%.
Okay, any questions for Lisa? Good trend, we're not dropping down, and it looks like October numbers were up according to some of the city's revenue collection. So let's hope that continues. Thanks, Lisa.
All right, thanks.
All right, item 6A, City of Colorado Springs.
Good afternoon, Ryan Phipps, Capital Improvement Manager for the City of Colorado Springs. I'm filling in for Gail this afternoon. I have 6 contracts to present, and it may be easiest with everyone online to just get through all 6 and then take questions afterwards.
Okay.
The first contract is for the Black Forest Road Widening Project. This is a PPRTA 2 Capital A-List project. AECOM was selected early on in that project to provide the engineering services throughout the life of the project. And this is a final change order to their contract to provide some post-construction compliance efforts. The first one is for resolving the Nationwide Permit 14 for Cottonwood Creek. The second is the Nationwide Permit 13 for the tributary to Cottonwood Creek, and then to present and execute the letter of map revision, often called a LOMR, due to the changes that were made to the channel with that project. So City's requesting that the PPRTA approve this change order for AECOM in the amount of $148,900 to perform these final post-construction services. The second contract that I have to present is for another PPRTA 2 A-List project. This is for Galley over Sand Creek. Stantec was selected to provide the engineering services and then the construction management services during the construction of the project. Long story short, we had a much longer time frame for that lumen, the communication relocation ahead of the bridge replacement project. That was only supposed to take about 3 or 4 months. It ended up taking a year. And then our contractor attempted to kind of write that schedule with a very aggressive schedule to begin with. And we initially thought that Stantec's construction management contract would be sufficient to cover. However, the contractor has actually trended more towards what we anticipated from the beginning, which was about a year's worth of construction. So between the city and Stantec, they've really tried to limit the amount that was impacted as a result of both of these unexpected efforts. And we are seeking approval for $87,269.41 to extend the services of Stantec for the construction management on Galley.
That's where Galley narrowed, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's now widened.
That was Reb's favorite project.
Yep. The third contract I have to present is for Galley at Wooten. So that is immediately east of the project that I just described. This is at the intersection of Galley and Wooten. There's a bridge under that intersection, and this project will be replacing the top slab of that box culvert. This falls under the bridge maintenance program, and we solicited the project and received 6 bids. And I will just note that we're seeing a lot of our bids come in really close. We provided a table on there, and 5 out of 6 of them are within 10%, which is great. Ultimately, our low bidder was West Fork Construction, and we're seeking approval to award this contract to West Fork Construction in the amount of $1,818,951.95. The fourth contract that I have to present is on-call capital project maintenance. The city issued an RFP back in September to solicit services for the PPRTA on-call capital project maintenance services. This is a base year contract with a 3 option years available to be executed by the city. This provides landscape maintenance and associated work on previously completed PPRTA capital projects, and this is in accordance with PPRTA board policy number 15. So we received, I believe, 7 proposals. TP Enterprises was selected as the most qualified, and the city requests the PPRTA approve this maintenance contract in the amount of $456,652. The 5th contract is for pre-overlay and on-call concrete. Again, in September, the city issued a request for proposal for construction services for pre-overlay and on-call concrete maintenance. As a result of that solicitation, we received 16 proposals and 13 were selected. I'll read them all off by name. AA Construction, Blue Ridge, Concrete Experts, Eagles View, Even Pricer, Finsterwald, HCD, ICS, Jose's Concrete, J. Torres, Lucky Dog, PNS, Concrete, and Trax Construction. These contracts are for $0 with task orders issued off of them. The task order limits are $200,000 per issuance. So the city is requesting that the PPRTA approve these contracts for all the named contractors for $0. Again, it's a base year with 4 options to extend. The final contract that I have to present here is the annual renewal and approval. These are ongoing contracts that have been already reviewed and approved, and we're simply extending these in time. And this is in accordance with Policy 31 contracting processes. So we seek that you recommend the extension of these contracts as presented on the back page.
All right, any questions for Ryan, sorry. Tony, go ahead. Tony.
Tony, your mouse is moving. Looks like you're unmuted, but I don't know if you have a secondary mute button on your end. Still can't hear you.
All right, go to Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hey, David Zelenak here. A great presentation, and I certainly do plan to support this item. The one thing I wanted to highlight, though, was many of you who were here last month may recall we had quite a spirited discussion about operations and maintenance. Snow plowing was the topic last month, of course, and I did get word, I believe, that the board, if I understand correctly, did give a thumbs down to any snow plowing, which we defined and all agreed through consensus, I think, was operations. Am I correct in that understanding, Mr. Chair, that the board of directors of PPRTA did give a thumbs down to snow plowing as operational work?
Yeah, let me, can I postpone the response? Because part of what I want to do today is update the CAC on the board decisions on the discussions we had last month. So could we limit the questions at this point to Ryan's presentation?
Thank you. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we were able to talk about that in that context. So
yeah,
if you're planning that, Mr. Chair, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll lower my hand and defer to the group. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I think I have my mic now.
Hey, good job, Tony. You're pretty good for a lawyer.
Oh, yeah, Microsoft Teams doesn't like to actually save my settings, so I had to go back in. All right, so contract number 2, you talked about how the contractor went way past the time that they bid for when they first got on the project by about 8 months, it sounds like. Is that correct?
No, not correct.
Okay. What did I miss? Because you said that it was 4 months and then it went to a year, or
So before the city's bridge contractor could start work, Lumen, the communication company, had to relocate their infrastructure ahead of our contractor. And that was what was originally anticipated to be 3-4 months worth of work and ended up being over a year. So that's not part of our contract work.
It was the previous people who were out there.
A utilities contractor, not the contractor the city contracted with.
Correct.
Okay. That was my question, because it seems like some of these projects just go on for ever. So, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Gooding?
Okay. Thanks, Ryan. On contract number 5, I just have a quick question. There's a $200,000 maximum for a task order. Is there an upset limit for the contract, a maximum for each contractor to get under this contract?
As far as like an annual limit?
The annual limit, or for the life of the contract, either one.
Usually it's an annual limit, and I don't have that information in front of me right now. So I could reach out and try to get that information before the end of the meeting. But typically with these types of contracts, there is an annual limit set for on-call contracts that are task order based.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Don't see any further hands. If not, do I have a motion to approve the city's contracts request as presented?
So moved.
Okay, who was that?
That was Steve Murray.
Thank you, Steve. Do I have a second? Barb Winter. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Was that an oppose? Okay, all right, very good. Thank you. All right, item 6B, the county.
Good afternoon, Josh Palmer, county engineer. The county has, excuse me, I'm a little sick, so I may mute myself to cough. We have 4 contracts to bring before you for consideration today. The first is for a contract amendment for the Constitution and Peterson Intersection Safety Improvement Project. And this is for our consultant, Alfred Benish and Company, in the amount of $65,216. Our goal for this project is to make safety improvements at this intersection. And as we've gone through the analysis, we determined that it's possible to include additional safety improvements at intersections to the east and west, specifically along Constitution, directly adjacent to Peterson. So this contract amendment would increase our consultant's contract amount from $294,477 to $359,693. And this is to provide additional survey and some traffic modeling to consider whether or not we want to make improvements outside of the intersection of Constitution and Peterson.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh, can I interrupt you just a second?
Sure.
Shouldn't we do your line item transfer request first before approving the additional funds for this contract? Or are they related?
Oh, you are actually right. I skipped right over that one. My apologies. Do you want me to continue with this item, or do you want me to go back to the line item transfer?
Let's go back to the line item transfer, because my understanding from reading is that the funds from the line item go towards the project you're discussing.
You are correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep. So my apologies. I skipped right over that. So the county is requesting to do a line item transfer to the Highway 105 project. So what this will do is it'll increase the budget for the allocated budget for the Highway 105 Phase B project, and we'll do that by utilizing the remaining money from the Tut Boulevard extension project. So this was a joint project between the city and county. The county's portion of this money has been spent, as well as including the leftover funds from the Meridian and 24 projects. So both of the remaining funds from these two completed projects will be transferred to the Phase B of the Highway 105 project, and they total $558,286. Sorry.
Any question?
And as well as West Colorado Avenue. So there's, my apologies, I'm out of it today, apparently. There are 3 completed projects that we want to do a line item transfer: Tut Boulevard, West Colorado Avenue, and Meridian and 24. These are all completed projects, and we've exhausted the need for the county's portion of these projects to be spent. We'd like to transfer that money via line item transfer to 105.
Okay. Any questions for Josh on the line item transfers? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the request for line item transfers as the county presented?
Larry Tobias, I move to approve the funds transfer as presented.
Okay, do I have who was the second?
Rick Hoover.
Thank you, Rick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, Josh. Now go back to the other one.
Well, there is a second line item transfer, another
okay.
project. Yes.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm all over the place today. The second is a line item transfer from the also completed Monument Hill Road project to South Academy in the amount of $80,550 via line item transfer from Monument Hill Road to the South Academy project.
And the total on that was 67,000?
80,550.
80,550. Oh, sorry, missed that. Okay.
And you're correct, Jim, that will support one of the items in my follow-up request.
Okay. Any questions for the second line item transfer for Josh? Okay. Those all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, do I have a motion? I'm sorry. Motion to approve.
This is Tony. I'll move to approve.
Okay. Barb second. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right. So yeah. So back to my original effort for contract amendment. So I mentioned the contract amendment for Alfred Benish for Constitution and Peterson. The second contract amendment goes in line with the previous line item approval. A contract amendment to AECOM for South Academy Boulevard widening project. in the same amount, $80,550. As we've talked about in the past, one of the most significant parts of this project is the bridge scour repairs for South Academy Bridge over Fountain Creek. It's kind of like a scab that won't go away, and the more we pick at it, the more we figure out additional work is warranted. So this contract amendment will allow AECOM to provide additional bridge repair design and design support during the extension of the contract construction work for the bridge repairs. The third item, another contract amendment for the Eastonville Road Improvement Project to our consultant, Stanley Consultants. This is in the amount of $249,985. This is to provide additional design support, including some after the fact added lighting requirements along Eastonville corridor, as well as the related design support during construction.
Jim, this is Larry. I have a question for Josh.
Go ahead.
Josh, in the material that I read, it indicates that they're going to do a survey of lighting along that corridor for where the contract is going to be done. How extensive are they looking at as far as lighting goes for that road? And are we going to be looking at trying to keep a dark sky lighting program in effect along that part of the project?
I'll answer your last question first. The goal is to mitigate as much as possible the impacts of lighting while providing the safety benefits of lighting. I think Jeff Manchester is on. He probably add a little bit of context as to the extent and the limits of what we're looking at for this lighting. Jeff, if you're paying attention.
Right,
I was, Josh.
right now, there's no lighting out there.
Larry, can you hear me? This is Jeff Manchester.
Yes.
So the lighting proposed is, as Josh mentioned, is corridor safety lighting, but it's very efficient LED lighting, which basically has almost zero uplight or light pollution, as we like to refer to it. So it's very efficient at only lighting pavement markings and pavement area that is needed for safety.
And that sort of falls in line, Jeff, with, say, the McLaughlin Road roundabout, where you've got some lighting, but it's all LED, and it basically shines on the roundabout to give people a safe access in and out of that roundabout.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
And the final item that we have is the request the board's approval of contract extensions. And we've talked about this as well. The county has, or at least has had, a process of contract language that essentially terminates a contract at the end of a calendar year, regardless of the extent of the project schedule itself. We've since remedied that, but this is kind of one of the remaining items on that. The two contracts that you have in the packet will, without proper approval, will expire at the end of the year. So what we're requesting from both the PPRTA board and our own board of county commissioners is to extend the limits of these contracts to match up with the duration of the project itself. So we're not adding time to their contract. We're not adding a budget to their contract. It's just a technicality, a paper trail, if you will, to allow for these contracts to continue for the duration of the project.
When do you anticipate that end to be, Josh?
Well, the first one for Wilson and Company, this is a PPRTA 3 project. So my expectation is this is going to be multiple years if you consider design support during construction. We don't have a contractor on board, so I can't tell you the ultimate end date of that project, but this will allow for that contract to remain open for the duration. And this Highway 105, Jeff, I think we have an expected end date of next year for that project, right? For this phase, the construction is substantially complete, but do we have a timeline for that?
I believe it's Q1, just without looking it up.
Okay, all right. So you're just correcting paperwork primarily because allowing them to complete the projects without having to reissue a new contract.
Yeah, yeah. So no time, no dollars. It's just matching up the terms of their contract to match with the project itself, which hasn't happened historically for many reasons. And I'm happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
Any questions for Josh on the county's request?
Josh, this is Larry. This is for both Jeff and Josh. Are we actually going to see construction on Eastonville Road in 2026 as projected on your information?
Jeff, I'll let you answer that one.
Larry, great question. I appreciate your interest. The short answer is yes, we are definitely expecting on being in construction. Our plans are essentially shovel ready. We are just wrapping up some property acquisitions right now with some kind of last minute appraisals and deals that we're doing. So we are hoping to be advertised early next year so we can start that project in the summer when school's on recess.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other questions for Josh on the county's programs? All right, do I have a motion to approve the county's request as presented?
Larry Tobias, I move to for approval for the 4 items as presented by Josh and Jeff.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Steve Murray.
Thank you, Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good. Thanks, Josh. Town of Callahan, Cindy.
Hi, can you hear me? Oh, hold on. So, Town of Callahan has a contract, for what they're calling patchback. We got a nice grant for a bunch of sidewalks in town from CDOT. So we finished the sidewalks, but now we want to fix along the sidewalks to help with the drainage. So we have a contractor that's willing to do the asphalt along the sidewalks throughout town and help with our drainage. We're asking PPRTA for 115,000. The other 60,000 we honestly is for materials, and we can get that reimbursed with the CDOT grant. So I did talk to Rick, and yes, I know it's winter, but our contractor has assured me there's going to be enough nice days. He thinks he can get it done.
Okay. Any questions for Cindy on Callahan's request? All right, very good. Thanks. A motion to approve Callahan's request?
Hoover. Richard Zamora.
Rick Hoover, okay, second.
Richard Zamora.
Thank you, Rich. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good. Enjoy those sidewalks, Cindy.
All right, thank you.
Green Mountain Falls.
Hi there, everybody. Caleb Patterson here, town manager for Green Mountain Falls, Colorado. We are contracting out with the same contractor that performed the work this year, excuse me. We're going to contract them out again this year. This is a maintenance project for $85,480.90. Please scroll down, or next slide. Go ahead and go over to the contract if you would not mind. If not, I can share my screen.
We might have to do that. This is Jared. I don't have the contract.
No problem.
I didn't include the contract.
Oh, okay. Let me just, I'll just go down to the photos and that is on that contract. My screen. All right. Can we see what I'm looking at?
Not yet.
I can see an exhibit now.
Oh, there we
Perfect.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah, went ahead and just skipped the contract, and just going down to the exhibits. We got the price. We know that it's a maintenance contract. On Lake Street, there is going to be some pave patching there, crack sealing, and line striping, and putting in an additional handicap spot. We are considering, so we might come back and add an addendum to this. We are considering on Lake Street to add an additional, or make this all angled parking, push this out to the side a bit here on the southern side, and almost create a loop. Right now, drivers come in, they have to do a 3-point turn and they back out. So we're trying to make drivers come in and then come out. So that's what we're doing there on Lake Street. Over there in the post on the Blue Moose parking, as described on that the first page of that contract, there is dirt parking here. We'd like to put in a 2-foot gutter pan and put some asphalt down. Post office parking lot, a lot of icing that goes there, so we need to regrade. Put in some or do some pave patching here on Flagpole Park while extending the parking. I'll go down, scroll down to the specifics. Here's what it would look like up close. That is the Blue Moose parking right here to regrade and pave this area and create a 2-foot gutter pan. That gutter pan would be asphalt. There at the top of, I think that's Foster. Here at the top of Foster, we would come in here and pave patch this, create a 1 to 2% grade going into the grass, bump out that fence to widen that road, and hopefully create some parallel parking on the side. Down at the end of Foster, and this over here to the left, if you could see my mouse, that's where that other paving would be for the Blue Moose. We would continue that gutter pan along, keep this grade, cut out here along U-Pass, and dump and have it all flow into the pond there. And this is just kind of, I just took a snapshot on some of the areas here down on Lake Street. So you could see kind of the damage with that. That's all I have for now. Any questions?
All right. You're not going to interfere with access to the breakfast place there, are you?
No, we'll probably do it in the afternoon so everybody gets their fill of breakfast.
All right. Okay, good.
Mr. Chair, just one comment.
Go ahead.
There's a setting on your computer where you can adjust the size of that mouse indicator for us old folks. That tiny little thing was hard to follow.
I'm sorry, sir. I have a thing or two to learn. I'll go ahead and YouTube that and get that done.
Just kidding. We're just getting old. Thanks.
All right. Any other questions for Caleb? All right. Do I have a motion to approve? Barb, motion to approve Green Mountain Falls, a second.
Larry Tobias, second.
Thank you, Larry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing any. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right. We don't have anything for Manitou and Rama, so we're good there. Member governments and other reports. Lan, you on for transit?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I am online today. What you're looking at on the screen is our transit monthly report. For this month's ridership, I would just highlight the van pool ridership. I mentioned to the CAC a couple months ago that we were impacted by the government shutdown in terms of the van pool ridership. Out of the 19 participants, 11 were furloughed during the government shutdown. So that was reflected in the ridership number. Those participants the services have resumed since the government reopened on November 14th. But you do see the numbers going down for October. Then moving on to the transit highlights section. The first item that we included is the fare option. A few questions had come up in the last few months about our fare, so we included some information in this month's report about our fare structure, how much we charge. When people board the fixed route bus, the regular fare for one ride ticket is $1.75. Then following that, you get a transfer that is good for 3 additional trips for free within a 2-hour window. And there are also restrictions in terms of how you can use that transfer. So I'll actually mention later on about our fare study. Then we also offer discounted fare for ages 6 to 18 and seniors and Medicare recipients and people with disabilities and seniors. So there are different fare structure, how much we charge. We also offer some built-in discount in multi-ride ticket for also monthly pass. In 2022, we implemented a project called mobile ticketing, Masabi mobile ticketing, or you will see the Ride MMT app on your phone. So what it does is really an account-based fare system that allows people to manage their own account, add balance to their account, use it to purchase bus passes or buy single ride tickets. One nice feature of that account-based ticketing is called fare capping. So we're able to cap the maximum amount you will be paying at the maximum, at the day pass price or at the monthly rate. So which basically gives you a guarantee that, okay, no matter how many times I ride today, I will not be paying for more than that day pass charge. And then right now we're looking at for 2025 average, about 23% of the people are using that, which is a very nice feature. Also, yes.
Lamb, before you go on that fare capping thing, a note I made, does this allow a person to set that cap so they don't overspend their budget? Or is it just guaranteeing a price for the number of rides during that period of time?
I think it's the latter.
Okay.
It's controlled by the fare structure at the day pass, the day pass and the monthly pass levels. However, the individual control could happen at the time when you purchase the type of bus passes. You can load more money, but you're not basically spending that money on bus passes. That's how individuals can control. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
that question.
Yeah.
We also have special agreements with universities, and we also expanded that agreement to District 11 this year. I think a lot of the CAC members are already aware of the university or college bus pass programs. We had agreements with UCCS, PPSC, and CC prior to COVID. And UCCS stopped that partnership during COVID, and we're very happy to report that they just came back on a limited basis for their resident students, and that agreement was just signed this week. So we're very happy that UCCS is back as a partner, and we continue to work with PPSC and CC, continuing to offer students those discounted fares. The school district 11 bus pass program was new also this year. We had a pilot program with 2 special high schools on a limited basis to test this bus pass program. Basically, the school will reimburse transit for the lost revenue, and the school, depending on the school situation, it might be a school budget, it could be student fee, could be a different transportation fund. So that's up to the school on how they pay for it. But it's a win-win situation between the school and MMT and the students, really. I do want to mention.
Lan, hang on. Barb Winter has a question.
I think you may have answered part of the question, Lan. This is Barb. On the College Pass program, I do a lot with UCCS. Are they subsidizing that $5 fee at the universities as well? Are
The
they,
$5 is basically per student per semester, and I believe it's something that they just voted on just recently in the last couple months, and I forgot the name of the fund. I think it's Green Actions Fund might be the name of the funding source for them. So it's basically once you participate in this program, the school will manage who gets to write and who doesn't. And school reimburses MMT for $5 per semester per student, and the student will write for free, unlimited Mountain Metro buses.
so that's some form of a grant the universities have received or the schools have received?
That's up to the school. Each school is different. They might have their special budget. PPSC is a student fee. District 11 is different. So it's really up to the school on which funding source they can set aside for this program. But the students will get to write for free, unlimited times.
The fee structures go directly back to MMT.
Correct, because that is a very important funding source for us to basically put those revenue back to operations.
And is that an in-house program or a third party?
It's our program. It's in-house between us and the schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. We are kicking off a fair study very soon, by the end of this year. The intent of the fair study is to look at, I mentioned at the beginning of this item, we have different transfers and we have restrictions on how you can use that. There's a time block. So at times that could be pretty daunting for someone who doesn't write the system very often. So with the fair study, one of the goals is to make it easier for people to understand, and also they're not afraid to navigate and try MMT system. So more to come on that fair study, and we hope to kick off this study by the end of this year, and we're looking at about a year to complete the study. Moving on to the second item, we're very happy to share that Transit has been awarded a Federal Transit Administration grant in the amount of $7.6 million. The program's name is called Low or No Emission Grant Program. We received this funding so we can purchase buses, and we are proposing, we applied the grant proposing to purchase 8 hybrid buses. Those buses will be used to support our express bus network. One of them is the PPSC Academy South Campus connecting to North Campus on Academy, and the second express bus route we're looking to support is the Airport Downtown Express. The last time we received this grant was back in 2023 in the amount of $3.2 million, and we were able to use that funding to purchase our very first pilot program of 6 hybrid buses, which we just received this year. So it takes about 2 years to receive those buses.
All right, Barb's got a question for you,
Just
Lan.
a quick question, Lan. Have we totally abandoned, has the city totally abandoned those full electric buses?
I don't know we have abandoned it. Our first pilot was not successful.
Right.
We're still learning more and talking to peer agencies and learning from other communities. Those hybrids are more reliable currently. It's not to say technology might or might not improve down the road, but currently we're hoping those hybrids would be a better fit for MMT and for our community.
And so they're not in service, are they, at this time?
No, they're not.
Okay, thank you.
And I got a question, Lan. I've seen your hybrid buses out and about. They look nice. It seems like the previous director shied away from all natural gas busing. Something about didn't have the power or something at this altitude, yet they run all over Breckenridge and the mountains and this kind of stuff. So I'm just curious in looking at the alternatives between electric, all gas and the hybrids, you guys have settled on the hybrid as reliable and affordable?
For the time being, yes. We did conduct alternatives fuel study back in 2014. Of course, technology has changed since then. But in that recommendation, CNG was one of the technologies that was recommended. We did not move forward with CNG at the time because of the large capital investment needed. You have to build the CNG shop, and basically which requires more facility and infrastructure at the time.
Okay. Rick, you got a question?
Yeah, I was just, those express buses, I noticed those are probably needed, the ones you set up, but what about going out east? Using, I didn't see mention of that. And I thought that we were going to try to work some way of getting some express buses out east.
Yes, out east is one of the recommendations in that express bus network. There are a few routes that were recommended. One of them is Falcon, connecting Falcon Park and Ride to the city and with different destinations. So we'll continue to look for funding to hopefully to be able to implement more express bus routes.
Yeah, I must have missed it because I just see the campus to campus and airport downtown. And I didn't see where the others were being considered.
That was out east is one of the recommendations also. It is being considered.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
Leon?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks to Lan for the presentation. And apologies, by the way, it's Carl Stang here. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Have a different name for security purposes. So a question on the express buses. As far as a schedule, so I'm assuming like your mention of the buses that were just delivered, it sounds like it's a multi-year process. So just expectations for when these 2 express routes might potentially be up and running?
It's a great question. We are expecting to contract with the state using the oil and gas funding that was approved in one of the Senate bills last year, Senate Bill 230. So we're in the grant application and contracting process with the state. Once we receive the money, we will be looking at implementing additional services. So that contracting process is something we're hoping to move forward sooner. But we're looking at least, and then once we have the contract, we have to contract with the operator. So we're looking at probably 2 years to get started.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Good report, Lan. Any other questions for Lan? All right, great. Thank you, Lan. Appreciate it. Very informative.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to item 7B, the City of Colorado Springs change order. Task log. Any questions for Ryan? All right. Thank you all. Let's go on to the next one, the county change order and property acquisition report. Any information questions for Josh or anybody on that? All right, not hearing any. The next one is the quarterly reports from member government. Anybody have any questions or anything on the quarterly reports? I would just like to start off any questions and thank the member governments and their staffs for these quarterly reports. I use them when I get inquiries or questions through my network on the status of projects or where we are it's a great tool, and I know there's a lot of work that goes into doing these. And I'd just like to say thank you to all the member governments and your staff for putting this together. I think it's good. It's a great resource for everybody to refer to. Any questions on the status report? All right, not seeing it. So administrative actions and a report on the recent board actions. So as I mentioned, when Dave was, Zelnok asked a question, we had a couple of issues that we kind of referred to the board last CAC meeting. So I'd like to just kind of go over a little bit about what happened. There was a discussion about the adding if necessary when we're talking about the capital maintenance and public transportation contracts, and that fulfilling the need for public notice and not being identified as an agenda item. And the board was okay with adding if necessary. So no real pushback or anything on that. That was recommended. On the issue that Dave brought up about the snow plowing and the bifurcation of those contracts that the city had, the chair, Chairman Brian Resley, also pulled out that contract. And there was some discussion. All of them were approved, with the exception of the contract that involved snow removal. There was some discussion actually by several folks and concerns that kind of mirrored what we talked about in terms of precedent setting. And this is the first time we've seen something to pay for snow removal. They too, members of the board, and for those of you not familiar, members of the board are city council members, county commissioners, and mayors or town managers of the other member governments. They brought up the same thing, that they felt like this was an operational expense and not an RTA type of expense. And there was a little bit of discussion about, we have in the past specialized equipment. The RTA has purchased specialized equipment, usually rolling equipment as needed, and whether or not any of that was necessary just for this. There was concern about mixing the funds between the parking enterprise and the two enterprises. In the end, they voted to deny that contract. So just wanted to share that discussion. It was a good discussion had by the members of the board, and I appreciate them indulging us in terms of giving us guidance on that project. So any questions on that? Dave, did that answer your question? All right. Okay, so without any other comments or questions, let's move on to 8B, reappointment process for CAC members. Rick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you can see on the memo, in the bottom quarter of the page, Steve Murray has been reappointed by the city. Larry Tobias has been reappointed by the county. Carl Stang has been reappointed by City Manitou Springs. And the 2 at-large regular and 2 at-large alternate members, Brandy Rich, Jeff and Jamie, all have been recommended by the board subcommittee to the full board for reappointment, and the full board will act on that recommendation next week at this time. Any questions?
Questions for Rick on that one? All right. A re-election of CAC officers.
Just a reminder that the CAC bylaws state on page 5 that the PPRTA Citizen Advisory Committee shall select its chair, first vice chair, second vice chair positions for 1-year terms at the first meeting of each calendar year. Your first meeting will be Wednesday, January 7 of 2026. So be prepared to do some voting. Any questions?
All right.
Thank you.
Item 9, topics, agenda topics for next meeting. Anybody got a burning issue they need to talk about? Okay. Any communications by any of the members of the CAC that they want to share with the other members? I would just like to say, for those that are out and about, be safe, and be cautious and be aware of other drivers around you. Look over your shoulder when you change lanes. I almost saw a nice, very expensive Maserati take out a little cheap little car because neither one of them were looking over their shoulder, and they tried to merge into the same lane and just barely missed each other. Of course, the guy in the Maserati was doing a little stupid stuff, but anyway, so just be careful out there, folks, and be safe. And do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Okay, there you go. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and be safe out there, and we'll see you next month. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Happy holiday. Happy New Year.